Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Yeah, the old clock says it's 5 o'clock. Beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today's beer, guys, is Marvolo from Commonwealth Brewing Company. These guys are out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. This is a stout. According to the can here, it says Marvolo Imperial Chocolate Stout Ale, 8.7% alcohol by volume. I didn't see any dating or vintage or anything on the can here, guys, but it's a big stout. It's 8.7% chocolate stout, it says, and there's a little bit of ink on here, but if it's a dating, it's been smeared all off there, guys. But being a stout, chocolate stout, doesn't say anything about coffee or anything. This beer's going to keep for a while, being 8.7%. Untapped, Beer Advocate has it at 8%, and this particular one is 8.7%. So let's jump over to Untapped. They have it at 8.7% and 40 IBUs, as a matter of fact. It says an Imperial Stout where cold brewed coffee, keynote there, toasted dark coconut and Dutch cocoa melt and merge seamlessly to sire this superbly smooth roast, infused with flavor so bold and dark even he who must not be named would stop in for a quick drink mid mayhem. Okay, the keynote there, guys, is the first sentence. An Imperial Stout where cold brewed coffee. Coffee fades. So this is probably not something you would want to keep, and again, because of the coffee fading over time. And second, having coffee, it needs to have a vintage or a date on it, so you know you need to be aggressive. You wouldn't want to probably keep this beer 20 years. If it has any coffee notes now, more than likely, the longer you keep it, the more those notes are going to fade out. So, again, just like IPAs, guys, I tell you this all the time. The fresher, the better. Anything in a dark beer like that, like coffee, will fade also over time. So, and some do better than others. It's not guaranteed 3 months from now this is going to taste like crap. Not going to happen overnight. So just be aware when they brew these dark beers with coffee, how much coffee do you want to taste? The more coffee you want to taste, the fresher you need to drink it. So, do you want to trade the vintage for some complexity maybe down the road for less coffee? So, you make that decision. If you want to make that test, which I've done many times, buy more. Buy 4-pack, 6-pack, 8. And then, if it doesn't have a date, put the date on it. When you bought it. Bought here. And then try one every year, every 2 years, every 5 years, every 10 years, and go that way and see how it changes and how complex it may change too. So it's your option. When you get to these big ABV dark beers like this, especially the ones that don't have coffee in it, they'll keep for a long time, long time. With the coffee notes, you're going to have to make that decision on your own, how quick you want to drink it, or what you're willing to sacrifice for it to age. Let's pour it in. 16-ounce can, stick on, wrap around label. Not doing much on the head notes, so we can fix that though. We always do. Yeah. It's just barely covering the top of the beer. Y'all know what that's called. That's right. Swirly swirl. Throw that in there, and that will definitely kick that up a notch. And where we had no head, now look at it. Look at that nice cascading effect. And it filled it all the way up to the rim. Maybe got a little carried away on that. Maybe just a smidge too much. Gotta be careful here. I'm gonna be spilling all over. But look at the difference that just that little bit of swirl in the can did to the way they make that beer look, other than having it here. And also, that's going to leave a nice lacing on the glass instead of having no lacing on the glass. I mean, if that's something you want, you could do that. You don't have to. You don't have to. I just think that beer looks marvelous. That's an awesome looking beer to me. And the head is so creamy on top. That is an outstanding looking beer. Pitch black, guys. I'm not getting any light through that beer whatsoever. That is that's a 10 in the looks in the stout department right there. No doubt. To the nose we go. Roasted malt. Slight hint of some cocoa. Not getting a lot of coffee on the nose. And not getting a lot of coconut on the nose. But the Dutch cocoa, there, but subtle. Maybe the taste will bring more to the table. Let's find out. Cheers. And look at that head. That head's still, it's hanging around there. It looks good. Nah, it's not doing it, guys. This is not hitting on a whole lot. Big time roasted malt. This is a typical transitional stout. This is probably not something you'll see in my refrigerator yet. Roasted malt, hint of molasses, maybe a little caramel and toffee in there. The coconut is undetectable. I'm not getting it. The Dutch cocoa is very subtle. It's there. Subtle. Very subtle. Coffee. Maybe some there. Between the malt and the coffee is a very fine line there. I mean, it's hard to tell where the roasted malt stops and the coffee picks up. It's not there for me. It's not there for me. What I'm getting right now, guys, and it's right out of the fridge, and it may change. This is a dark beer, and it needs to come up to room temperature, and the lacing is absolutely awesome, outstanding on there, since we did what we did with the swirly swirl, and then going to do that. Right now, roasted malt, caramel toffee, black molasses, very subtle hints of cocoa, very subtle, and it's like a baker's cocoa. It's a bitter cocoa. It's of a sweet chocolate. Coconut, coffee, So that's where we're at right now on this one, guys. If you're looking for coffee, don't look here. If you're looking for big coconut, again, don't look here. This is, like I said, to me, Commonwealth Brewing's company, this may be their transitional stout to get you out of whatever to try their stout. But there's a lot better beers out there that have more cocoa chocolate-esque taste and more coconut taste and more coffee taste. So right now, not impressed. I bet y'all figured that out already. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Very small amount of lacing left on the top of the glass here where I poured that head in there, but not hardly any down on the big bowl part down here. It's a decent beer. To me, guys, it reminds me of a transitional stout. Something that breweries produce to get you into something a little darker with a little more taste than maybe a macro lager or an IPA or a pale ale would have, or whatever. to get you into something into a little darker. But says here it's 40 IBUs. I mean, to me it tastes a little bitter, more bitter than that, but maybe because of the chocolate. It tastes more like a bitter chocolate than a sweet chocolate, and it's very subtle, very, very subtle. In my humble, honest opinion, this would be a prime candidate to throw a shot of bourbon, a good bourbon into, to kick it up a notch, because it's rather plain and pretty mediocre, transitional to me. But that's where my palate is right now with the amount of beers that I sampled, reviewed, or tasted. But it all depends on where your palate is. You might pick it up and think it's the best thing you ever tasted. So again, I tell you, don't base what you're going to buy over what I'm telling you guys, because that's where my palate is right now, and what I have tasted, and what my opinion is, what I think about the beer that I'm reviewing. So it doesn't mean that's where your palate is, or what you might like to drink. So pick one up, give it a try. If you like it, buy more. And if you don't, you bought one beer and you've had it and you say, yep, I had that beer, I loved it, I didn't like it, or whatever. So at least give it a try. Give it a try, and like I said, what I may love, you may hate, and vice versa. So don't base what you're going to buy or spend your money on what this old man's going to tell you. So that's just where my palate is, and what I've experienced, and what I like to drink, and all that. And everybody's different. I mean, you can't look at what one person's telling you and say, well, I'm gonna buy everything that this guy's buying. No. That's not what it's about. No. Look at several different beer reviews on it. Several different people's opinion of it. Because it's going to be across the board. Because there are beer reviewers that don't like what I like, and vice versa. So it's just a reference guide, guys. So don't base what you're going to buy or try by what I'm saying. Try it, please try it. So you may love it. You absolutely may love it. To me, this is a transitional, a nice, decent beer, but not world class or outstanding. I don't think it's even to the A category. So, right with you. Roasted malt, black molasses, caramel, toffee, bittersweet chocolate, very subtle, no coconut, no coffee. Put some bourbon in this one if you're going to buy it. That's going to kick it up a notch and give you a little bourbon taste anyway, other than some roasted malt. So, not super impressed with this guy. It's a B beer. I'm going to give it an 85. That's where I'm going to put it. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 89. Also, that's their B plus grade there, guys. It's not even to the B plus category to me. I mean, it's just not there. It's just, alcohol is well hidden. I will say that. For 8.7% alcohol is, and that's just where my palate is and what I'm used to drinking. It may be the booziest thing you ever tasted. I mean, it all depends on what you've been drinking and what you're used to drinking. So, again, I mean, everybody's different. So, it all depends on what you like to drink, what you want to drink, and what you have been drinking. Will usually determine where your palate is and what you're ready for. So it's a gradual step to different things. So anyway, over to Untapped. They have it at 3.9. That's in their B plus range. I'm not quite there yet, guys. I just don't think it's quite to the B plus range, even though it's telling you it's an Imperial Chocolate Stout. Not much chocolate. If you're looking for chocolate, this ain't the one to be looking for. And not having the date on it or vintage or anything on it. So, I mean, it's a very colorful, eye-catching label. I will say that. That's what caught my eye in looking at it. But looking at it, saying it was a stout, and it didn't say anything about copy on it, even though it says here it's done here. It doesn't say that on the can, and didn't have a date. So a whole lot of reasons why I'm just giving it a B. I think it's a little misleading, and I'm not getting what they're saying I should be getting. So that's my opinion. Anyway, guys, this is Marvolo from Commonwealth Brewing Company. If you've had it, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.